Szoboszlai deal almost done. Arteta eyes up 3 players, Liverpool back at the top, Barcelona taste victory, and a transfer roundup all coming up on today's OneFootball Daily News. As I'm your host Angelina Kelly, let's get into it. First up, and it is looking like the Szoboszlai transfer story finally has an ending. And where is the ending? Of course, RB Leipzig. The young Hungarian player has been linked with so many different clubs, such as Real Madrid and Arsenal, but it is looking like the RB Salzburg star will be heading to their sister club, RB Leipzig. Now, this morning it was rumoured that his agent was sighted at the airport, possibly on his way to Germany, and it's looking like medicals will be taking place later today. Now, you don't need me to tell you that Szoboszlai is such an exciting young talent. He's already got 9 goals so far this season. Where he will exactly fit in Julian Nagelsmann's side, as it is a very attacking-minded side at Leipzig, it remains to be seen. However, the fact that they're 3rd in the Bundesliga, they've got a Champions League tie with Liverpool on the horizon, it must be so exciting for the youngster, and he's bound to be in the mix. Now, of course, the pressure will be on. Everybody will be comparing him to the likes of Erling Haaland, who of course left Salzburg for Dortmund. But if he's able to achieve even half of what Haaland has managed to achieve so far at Dortmund, I'm sure Leipzig will be very happy indeed. Now, of course, rumours are still circulating that Real Madrid or Arsenal might be able to hijack this move, but I never really saw him going to either. Real Madrid, I never really saw that happening, to be honest, and Arsenal, I don't think the state that they're in at the moment, they'd be able to lure a player like him to the club. Leipzig is the perfect fit for him, and I'm really excited to see what he does at the German side. Next up, and speaking of Arsenal, Mikel Arteta has apparently asked club officials for not 1, not 2, but 3 signings in January. Now, as we all know, it has been far from plain sailing for Arsenal. They're currently 15th in the league and they've already had 7 losses. What this has meant is that Arteta is desperately seeking for some spark in attack and somebody to revitalise the midfield. I think they're probably going to need a little bit more than that, but let's take a look at these 3 signings. First up, and of course, it's Aouar from Lyon. This saga has been going on and on and on for so long, almost as long as the Thomas Partey deal. At least that one did happen, but this one, I really don't see happening. Back in October, the player was asked if he was disappointed that he didn't manage to get a move, but he said he's really happy where he is, he's looking forward to the campaign and to helping out his team, and that he's with his friends and family and he loves the club. Not really the words of somebody that is looking for a move. So yeah, this one I think Arteta's going to have to admit defeat on. The next player is Real Madrid's Isco. Now, the problem with this is that Arsenal would not be able to afford Aouar and Isco because of paying big for the Thomas Partey deal. Now, the thing with Isco is that he is a good player. I could see this one having a bit more legs than the Aouar deal, to be honest. And I think the problem with Real Madrid is that he doesn't really get enough opportunities to show what he can do. But Isco's downfall is salary problems. So he is expecting €6 million a season. He's not really looking to lower his demands, but will he sacrifice the money for potentially a move to Arsenal to be able to get more playing time? Guess we'll just have to wait and see. And finally, Porto youngster Fabio Vieira. The 20-year-old has really risen through the ranks at Porto. He got his first team debut at the end of last season, and he has really been impressing in Portugal. He already has been hailed as one of Portugal's brightest young stars. Arsenal have been looking at him for quite a while apparently, but Marseille are also interested despite the £27 million clause. Now, he may not be a guaranteed goal scorer, he's got 1 this season, but Arsenal, like I say, have been watching him for some time and are ready to pay the clause and make their move. Whether any of these signings will actually happen is yet to be seen. However, with Arsenal on a seemingly really worrying downward spiral, could one of these signings or another signing be just what they need to breathe some life back into this squad? Next up, Liverpool moved to the top of the table last night after a big win against Spurs. And would you believe it? It was Roberto Firmino's header that made the difference. Now, Liverpool got off to a really good start. It seemed like they wanted to seal the deal early on, and they seemingly did with a Mo Salah goal. However, this was swiftly cancelled out by Spurs' brightest star at the moment, Son, who also got a goal. Now, in the second half, Klopp's team did seem to look like they wanted to really get a win. However, Spurs had so many good chances themselves, including those 2 missed chances from Steven Bergwijn. It was a great game for the neutrals to watch. It was exciting football, end to end, so much going on, great counter-attacking, and it seemed like Spurs were going to almost get all of the praise when it was going to end 1-1, as people were expected to be hailing them for the defence and their counter-attack. However, this all changed. Roberto Firmino completely flipped the narrative as he got that late header and Liverpool were of course victorious. For Klopp's side, this was a big win. It's been a crazy start to the season with some exhaustion and injury after injury after injury. However, what this does mean is they are now top of the table and they are 3 points clear of Spurs. For Spurs, this of course was a disappointing loss and Mourinho was not the happy man. He said that had it finished a draw, he would have been really happy, and he did say to Klopp that the best team lost. Klopp of course did not agree on this, but that's up for debate, I guess. The thing with Spurs is that they do need to take comfort from the fact that this is only their first loss in the Premier League since their opening loss against Everton. So they have actually come a really long way since the beginning of the season, and they're doing pretty well despite this loss. Now, the thing is, with the Christmas period in the Premier League, so much can change and so much can happen just in one game. And I have a feeling that this won't be the last time that we see Spurs top of the table. Next up, and whilst it was a disappointing game in the Champions League for Barcelona as they lost to Juventus, and with PSG waiting in the wings for the next round of the competition, Barcelona have turned their attention to La Liga as they have successfully managed to move up to 5th place after beating Real Sociedad. Now, Barcelona being at 5th seeming like a really big exciting thing, we're not used to that, but it was a really good win for the side. Now, despite Sociedad's early lead, it was Jordi Alba and Frenkie de Jong that managed to get 2 goals before the half-time whistle. And in the second half, there were still chances for both sides. Griezmann could have made it 3-1, and Sociedad did have a shout for a penalty when Jose's header seemed to touch Araujo's hand. However, VAR looked at it and the game continued. This is a great result for Atletico, who are still top of La Liga with 3 games in hand over Sociedad. And for Barcelona, I think this is just a really big confidence boost. This is their last 2 games now in La Liga that they've managed to win, and hopefully over the Christmas period they can continue to climb up that La Liga table and get to their rightful position at the top. And finally, we have our transfer roundup. This is where I take a look at some of the other news and transfers going on in the footballing world. And first up, West Brom have a new coach in Sam Allardyce. Over at Manchester United, they are still in need of a right winger, a centre-back, a defensive midfielder and a right-back, but the expectation is there will be no new signings in January. Liverpool are monitoring Lille's 23-year-old midfielder Renato Sanchez. And finally, last night, Robert Lewandowski surpassed the 250 goal mark in the Bundesliga as Bayern Munich came from behind and got a win over Wolfsburg. That's it for today's OneFootball Daily News. Check out all the other content that we have got here on the channel, and until next time, I will see you guys soon.